Hi, you are watching Global Insights on Voice of Canada, and this is Sana Haroon. Shillong Navy officers and a Riyadh postman fired tear gas canisters at a fisherman demonstrating on a Pret dock in the port of Valparaiso on Wednesday.
Empezaron a disparar, empezaron a agredirlo, a tirar lacrimógenas.
Me disparó a quemarropa así porque allá estábamos haciendo fuerza para que lo hagan nuestra galerita y mire cómo me dejó.
Queen Elizabeth II, the world's longest reigning monarch, decided on Wednesday to rest for the next few days, and advice from doctors and cancelled a planned visit to Northern Ireland, Buckingham Palace said.
The Queen's London home is always a draw. Visitor excitement, however, dampens slightly with worry. Her Majesty has been instructed to rest.
She's got to be a real person sometimes and just relax.
She's just not a national treasure. She's a world treasure.
She's worldly.
A treasure with a jam-packed calendar. Palace officials say the Queen is in good spirits, but disappointed at having to cancel her trip to Northern Ireland. The 95-year-old looked well Tuesday night as she hosted business leaders at Windsor Castle. Last week, she visited the Welsh Parliament with the use of a cane, but still looked strong.
Amid growing security over its tactics and ethics, Facebook is reportedly planning a makeover which would involve building a metaverse.
Facebook revolutionized the way we connect. The company's next big step could be one that changes everything about online.
They see the writing on the wall. They see that they need to evolve themselves.
Tech website The Verge reports Facebook is getting ready to rebrand with a new name and new focus. The Facebook site, along with Instagram and WhatsApp, would be platforms operated by a parent company that's built around something bigger, the so-called metaverse.
It's really the successor to today's mobile internet. You have to think about it as the future of what comes next.
Next generation online space that will blend elements of our real world with a virtual one.
So we're heading into this convergence of physical and digital lives.
Facebook already owns Oculus, which makes virtual reality goggles, and recently revealed workrooms for VR meetings. There, users interact in a digital meeting room as 3D avatars that mimic their real-life movements. Think Zoom on steroids.
I always wanted to help build this kind of immersive system that you could be in with your friends and feel like you were present together, but go explore.
The company recently announced plans to hire 10,000 workers to build the metaverse. But back in the real world, Facebook, by any name, faces serious problems.
Facebook consistently chose to prioritize its profits.
Former employee Frances Haugen recently blew the whistle on company policies she claims amplified misinformation and harmful content. Governments around the world have accused the social media giant of abusing its monopoly. A new name and new product designed to help escape reality won't make any of that disappear.
As blocks of lava tumble down at the Camber Veja volcano, some as big as a house, red-hot lava streams 100 and caked over the village of La Laguna and Los Llanos de Ardane on Thursday on Spain's La Palma Island.
está flotando. En el frente norte de la laguna.
US President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris attended an event to observe the 10th anniversary of the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial in Washington, D.C. on Thursday.
Even as his family on a daily basis was being threatened, he pushed, even as his very life was in jeopardy, and toward what would be the end of that short life, he pushed even harder, drawing a straight line between racial injustice and economic injustice, demanding more for Black people, for people of color, for working people, for all people. And it may not sound radical now, it was radical then. So as we remember his life and celebrate the anniversary of this beautiful memorial, let us be guided by those same connections he made as they exist today. Racial injustice today is inextricably linked to economic injustice, to the impact of the climate crisis, to the impact of COVID-19, and to the threats to our democracy. And I believe then, knowing and seeing that, the path forward is clear. We must put people to work in good union jobs and invest in the care, the child care, the home care that people need to be able to go to work. We must reform our criminal justice system and our immigration system. We must defend and strengthen the right that unlocks all other rights, the right to vote. And as we all know, in 2013, the Voting Rights Act that Dr. King and so many others fought for was gutted by the Supreme Court decision in Shelby v. Holder. That decision opened the floodgates for the anti-voter laws we see being passed in states throughout our country today. And to be sure, we should not have to keep fighting so hard to secure our fundamental rights, but fight we must, and fight we will.
For the first time in a couple generations, we're going to be investing in working families, putting them first and helping them get ahead, rather than the wealthy and the biggest and most powerful people out there. We're investing in Black families with rescue checks and tax cuts that will reduce Black poverty by 34%. black child poverty by more than 50%. This year, we're aggressively, with the leadership of some of the people I'm looking at right now, combating housing discrimination to create a generation of wealth. How did every other person make it to the middle class from a working class circumstance? Just like my dad did. Build equity in a house. Granted it was small, granted it wasn't much, but it was enough to build a little equity. We'll use the federal government's purchasing power to unlock billions of dollars in new opportunities of minority-owned small businesses and access to government contracts. Is there any doubt that providing more people with just a little more breathing room to take care of their families, generate a little bit of wealth that they can pass on to their children, and create jobs in their communities would uplift the entire country, all the country, everyone? And as the economy recovers, we are determined and focused on rebuilding it over the long run. No one should have to hold their breath as they cross a rundown bridge to determine whether it's safe enough, or a dangerous intersection in their hometown. A nation, every American, every child should be able to turn on a faucet and drink water that's not contaminated by lead or anything else.
The world's largest and tallest Ferris wheel opened to the public in Dubai on Thursday with a lavish drone and a fireworks show. A private anonymous U.S. consular bought the fossilized remains of Big John, the largest Triceratops dinosaur ever apparently discovered by paleontologists, for €6.65 million, US $7.74 million, at a Paris auction on Thursday.
Personal use. It's a piece that we saw and initially fell in love with it. The history behind this and the curation of it is absolutely impressive. So to be able to be a part of preserving something of this nature that was actually found in the U.S. and South Dakota is also something extremely special. Set many records as far as being one of the largest and one of the most intact pieces that exist out there. So I'm actually thrilled that we get to acquire this and be able to showcase it in a way that people will be able to look at it and be thrilled about seeing something of that nature.
Et avec les frais, ça fait 6 000 grands T-Rex, mais ça c'est une autre catégorie. À notre modeste niveau, c'est un grand record.
But then we managed to excite a good number of potential buyers, and I think the overall quality of Big John really deserve this price. We still don't know his final destination because we only know that it's a private individual, but we have no idea if that's meant to be donated or loaned for long-term terms in a museum. And anyway, even if it is going to a private collection, this is a little bit the sense of a public auction. We cannot in any way limit the bids from.
Keep watching Global Insights on Voice of Canada. For further updates, visit our website voiceofcanada.tv.